getting ready. You can just grab your props and have them all nearby. And yeah, we have a special guest today. Carrie is in the house. We should probably just give a quick little hi over to Carrie. Yes. Yes.
Oh, look, you have a fountain.
Yes, the new.
Wasn't that in the house?
It was in the house a while, yeah. So yes, we have the water element has made an appearance. Yes, long overdue. All righty.
Just like for you, the water element. Where's the ocean? That's really the question.
Okay.
It's outside right now.
Yes, there is. Waves of frozen water. Okay. Let's pull it together here. All righty. Oh. Let's find our seats and our props so we can sit up a little bit and wiggle in, get those hips above or at least on the same plane as the knees. And let's just manually take our hips and just roll them forward a little bit in our seat, maybe even over exaggerate just a little bit so that we can stack those lower vertebrae up. And good morning. I guess, that's always a good way to start. Good to see you all. And Wednesday, we've been working on the crane, and I think we've actually kind of gone through the whole thing. So we're going to do a little crane performance and go through the whole thing. We'll save that maybe towards the end of class once we get everything flowing and get the wings flapping. But as we find our seat and settle in, we're going to go through a little breathing exercise as well as a visualization, little meditation visualization, just to kind of tune up our brains a little bit, try to integrate the body, the mind, and the heart. So let's roll the shoulders back. Just make sure that we're not holding tension there as we straighten the spine up. We'll go ahead and close off a few energetic channels, maybe in the hands with our index fingers and thumbs, just making light contact there. And then allow the tip of the tongue to come up and just lightly rest on the roof of the mouth. And we'll just begin to breathe in and out of the nose. Find that steady, rhythmic breath. So just allow everything to settle. Just imagine your energy sinking down. Sinking down through the sit bones. And then continuing down below the floor into the earth. Maybe even energetically, we can visualize roots growing down as we just acknowledge Mother Earth, the amazing capacity for the grounded feeling that we can get when we really just tie into that energy of the earth, holding us. And then at the same time, we're going to feel the crown being lifted, the top of the head just lifted slightly. As we take our attention up to the sky, the heavens. And we feel both the sinking and the lifting. As our breath slows down and we begin to focus on the belly. Expanding that belly breath. Feel your belly button moving away from the spine. And as you exhale, we'll pull the belly button in. Pull it in a little bit more. Lengthen the exhale out a little bit more. Really emptying the lungs. And then in between the inhale and exhale, let's just pause for a couple of seconds. And then just keeping that steady rhythmic breath. Really keeping that focus on the belly as it expands into the side bodies and into the back. We're going to bring up the image of a big golden ring of light. Your eyes are closed, obviously, and you're just bringing this into your field. Just see it in front of you. And that ring is big enough so that you can pass right through the center of it. But right now it's just hovering in front of you. And see if you can really take your mind's eye to see the details of this ring, the quality of the light, maybe the sparkle, that golden hue. And it's just dancing with this golden energy. And now you're going to slowly draw that ring towards you until you pass through the center of it and it moves behind you into the back plane of the body. Just hold it there for a moment. And then that ring is going to start to move back towards the front as we pass through the center. And it just showers us with this golden light energy. Moves back into the front plane. And you'll just spend the next couple of breaths slowly moving the ring. Or maybe you can just even float your body through it, front to back, back to front. In the course of the next full cycle of breath, we'll bring the ring to a stop and allow it to just slowly dissolve Taking a deep breath. And now we're going to imagine that same ring over on the left side of our body. And we're going to pass through it again. But this time it's going to move from the left side of the body all the way over to the right side. And it pauses over on the right side. And then it makes its way back to the left. Once again, with your nice slow belly breath, we're going to pass our body through the ring from left to right and right to left. This can be as slow or as quick as you like. And as you take one more big belly breath, just allow that ring to just slowly dissolve. Taking a deep breath into the belly. Now we bring up a third ring. And that third ring is hovering over our heads. And slowly we rise and the ring begins to fall. And it comes down our crown, down around the rib cage, around the hips. And it even drops a few feet below us. We're hovering over the ring. And then we begin to drop down and the ring begins to rise. Once again, we imagine the ring moving or us moving through it from top to bottom and from bottom to top. Each time we pass through the ring, it just lights us up from the inside, that golden light. And in the course of the next cycle of our breath, slowly allow that ring to dissolve. And now we get another little kind of a gymnastics exercise with our mind here as we begin to imagine all three rings suddenly appear, one in front of us, one to the left, and one above. And we move forward and back through the front ring. And the left to right ring begins to move as well. And the top to bottom ring. And slowly imagining all these three rings moving, fast or slow, showering us with light, up and down, side to side, forward and backward. One more big belly breath. And suddenly all three rings vanish, leaving a golden cascade of shimmering light all around us. And very slowly we can release our fingers and our tongue. Return to a regular breath. Slowly opening the eyes, allowing the light to return. And we just take a breath or two and just feel the effects of our journey with the golden ring. We can roll our shoulders back. Take some nice deep breaths. And roll the shoulders forward. Release the head and neck, however we need to. And even just shake the hands off a little bit. And brush the head off with a couple deep breaths, shaking the hands down to the side. As if the golden light has just cleaned us off, and now we're just shaking some of that extra golden light water off. All right, we'll just do a couple little seated stretches while we're here. Let's just take our right hand, placing it out to the right side. You can come up onto a block if you want, or just come up onto your fingertips. We'll take the left hand, we'll bring it up to the shoulder here, palm facing up, and slowly begin to extend. We'll pause, really root that left sit bone down, and then push up a little bit more. And pause, rooting down and lifting up, eventually arcing into the side body. That left shoulder blade really comes onto the back, and the chest turns up towards the ceiling just a little bit. And see if we can find a full belly breath here. We may need to back off a little bit. You can inhale, back off just a touch, and exhale, really stretch. Backing off and arcing, filling that whole side body with some of that golden light. One more full cycle of breath. And on your inhale, floating the left hand all the way down to the fingertips or to a block as we bring the right hand up. Palm facing up. Once again, slowly introducing a lot of length and opening. Really feeling that right sit bone anchoring us. As we inhale and back off a little. Exhale. Really send that palm up. Right shoulder blade coming onto the back. And the chest tilted up towards the ceiling ever so slightly. One more full cycle of breath, really exhaling and stretching up. And inhale, allow the hand to come all the way down. Release the shoulders again, roll the shoulders back, shake the hands off, and maybe even brush the head off again. Deep breath. And we'll stretch the neck just a little bit, allowing the left ear, like there's a string pulling up on the left ear. The right ear drops, but we're not crunching in the neck. We're trying to elongate the neck so that left ear is slowly lifting. Same thing, we can inhale and back off just a little bit. And exhale, the left ear gets pulled up. And one more, big belly breath. Inhale the head back up and exhale the right ear rising up. Really focusing on the side of the neck, any tightness that we can help dissipate with our breath. One more deep inhale. Exhale, stretching up. Inhale, release. Once again, rolling the shoulders back and forward, shaking off. And one more, shaking off of the head. All right. You know, I think we're going to get to our feet before we get down to the mat again. Seems like a good, we're going to balance it out a little bit. We'll get some blood flowing to the whole body as we just make our way slowly up. Let's go gently. You can clear your mat. Shake the legs off, kick the feet out. All right. So get that good warm up all the way around, sitting. And now we're going to kind of do the same thing, but this time standing. We're going to bring a little bit more of the whole body online as we really wake up the whole energetic field around us. And so we're going to do that with a little of our Qigong practice, which literally translates as skill with energy or energy skill. Our Dantian here, you can just grab one of your hands, just rub the belly, rub the belly. Our immune system lives here. This should be the most focused element of our whole year, moving from 2020 into 2021. Giving all the love and smiles and anything we can to this area here. This is known as the Dantian or our lower Dantian. It also translates as the elixir of life. And so it's no wonder that our immune system lives here. And as we, give our belly a nice little massage one way and then the other, begin to just take a couple nice deep breaths into the belly. And just feel how good that feels to just give the Dantian a nice little stirring. All right. Shake the hands off. And we'll come into our Qigong ready stance, or the stance of power, the Wu Qi stance. Our feet are right under our shoulders, and they're really lined up on two train tracks. If you're wearing long pants like I am, sometimes you got to lift it up and check out your ankles. Make sure that you're really lined up. As you do that, you're going to lift your toes up. You're going to try to spread the feet out as much as possible. If you have that uncooperative little baby toe, you can kind of spread that out. See if you can get space between every one of your toes. It's a very rare thing. Usually the toes are just jammed all together. And we're going to bend slightly at the knees. So there's just a little bit more of a bend in the knees than straight. Let's take our hands to our hips, and we're going to almost do like a little standing cat-cow. So the shoulder blades drop onto the back, the head drops back a little bit, and the chest moves forward. There's our cow shape. And then we're going to do a little cat shape. Rounding the back, the shoulders come onto the front body, the head drops. And we're just going to move back and forth here. I'm going to show you in the side plane. I'm really emphasizing the movement of my pelvis here. So I'm tilting the pelvis forward and tilting it back. I'm just going to do that a couple more times, breathing. And then we're going to end up in a neutral position, and we're just going to slightly tuck the pelvis under. The back of the tailbone just tucks under slightly so that now we can get a nice straight back as we have this sunken position. There we go. And forward onto the toe box and back onto the heels. Keep those knees a little bent. Nice. So we can really feel the feet. So in the same way that we were, giving the belly a nice good morning, this is our good morning for our feet. We're going to give our feet a little massage. And now we're going to go from left to right, just feeling the edges of the feet, the inner edges and the arches. See if you can feel all 10 toes. That's a challenge in itself. And so while our Dantian is our big battery full of our elixir of life, to really generate qi, we need to be really grounded. And that's where the feet come in. So if you can imagine those roots going deep into the earth, just imagine all that connection with the earth. If we're really grounded, we're going to be able to generate a lot of that elixir of life. All right, eventually, as we do all this moving around, like a pendulum, our body is going to come into its balance, its center, where we feel nice and balanced. If a wind was to come from the left or the right or the front to the back, we could hang. It's not going to blow us over. We're pretty solid here. And now, moving to the upper body, the elbows float a little. And we have a little space under the armpits. The armpits are kind of open, like the chest is expanding, almost like you just filled the upper torso with a little helium, and it's floating a little. But we don't want to lose that sunken feeling from the waist down. Keep a little bend in the knees. The head and neck, likewise, extend a little bit out of the collarbone. Tip of the tongue comes to the roof of the mouth. And we find that deep belly breath. And see if we can allow the body to enter the stillness. The body doesn't really like this, to be honest. It doesn't like being still. But what we can do is we can focus on the movement of our belly. Satisfy the body a little bit. There is movement. The belly is expanding, contracting. If you feel tightness in your shoulders and arms, you may need to just relax and just roll the shoulders back again. The body always has a few jitters here and there. Maybe we need to release the head and neck again. But as you do that, feel free to do it, but then try to return to the stillness. Try to return to that equilibrium. And more importantly, return to the Dantian. Even here, this is a standing meditation. If we're really rooted and really focused on bringing fresh qi in, exhaling the old, we're building up qi in the belly. We're like a battery on a little charger. Renewing and replenishing our reserves. And we'll move the body a little bit more soon, so you can let your body know that it's not going to have to stand in the stillness for that much longer. But before we do that, I want you to imagine some of that golden light, some of those golden rings, and inhale that into your belly, some of that golden light. And exhale, releasing what's no longer needed. Just the energy of yesterday, even the energy of this morning. Just let go. We're renewing the system. One more big belly breath. And now the palms are going to open. The inhale slowly brings the arms up. The elbows are relaxed. The wrists are relaxed. Slowly rising. We pause at the top of our inhale for just a second. And we exhale. The hands drift down. Pausing at the bottom of our exhale. We begin the inhale and they rise. You can move with your own breath at your own speed, but your breath dictates the motion, not you. The hands just follow the movement of the belly. Here we are in our whole body breathing. A meditation in motion. And we can have our eyes closed or open or half open. And play with that a little bit. And the reason that we're moving so slow is we're trying to really kind of embody two different things, motion and stillness. And if we can feel both of those things at one time, we're balancing, we're coming into equilibrium. We're balancing our masculine and feminine. So really feel that. Feel the motion within the stillness. And feel the stillness within the motion. Next time your hands reach the dantian, exhaling down, we'll inhale, sweep them up the center line, and we're just going to reverse the direction. Everybody do one more round, one more full round of breath. I'm going to exhale the hands down to our last of the whole body breathing motions. And this time we just form a ball, big beach ball, elbows relax. If you need to pause and just roll the shoulders back or even just shake the hands off, heck, you can get out and just kick the feet out just a little bit. But return to your Wuji stance, tucking that tailbone, tip of the tongue's on the roof of the mouth, as we just finish out our whole body breathing with this big beach ball. We inhale and our arms open just a little bit, maybe 6 inches. And we exhale and we close. If your eyes have been closed the whole time, maybe try opening them. Look across the room. Allow your gaze to rest on a point. And if your eyes have been open the whole time, maybe try closing them. Just feeling the difference. All your senses are awake and alive. sinking. And feeling weightless at the same time. A few more cycles of breath. We're almost done. And we'll exhale the hands down. We'll finish off the whole body breathing by just bringing the hands to the dantian again. The ladies are going to take their left hand and put it on their lower belly, followed by the right hand. And guys are going to do the opposite, the right hand and then the left. And it just returns us to our kind of baseline gender in a way, bringing us back to our personal power. Close the eyes. Just take a couple more breaths here. Just digesting, just taking an internal inventory. One more big belly breath. And exhale, release. Come up out of your stance and step out and just shake it off a little bit. Couple nice deep exhales out the mouth to just vent it out. Feel how the body likes to be moving again. We don't like to feel that restriction, but it's where a lot of the magic happens. Brush the head off. All right, we should move through a little cleansing and clearing, little dispersing of stagnation. And we do that through tapping and patting. And the body really likes this response, just the same way we were rubbing the belly and how the body felt so good there. This time we're going to open up the energetic centers. We're going to start with one hand. We're just going to come to our crown. And through this whole routine, we're going to inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. And as you tap around the crown, maybe you can find some little spots around the head that feel a little weird, a little uncomfortable. And when you find one of those spots, just tap on it and give it a nice deep breath. And we'll just continue tapping right down the center of our skull, right to our third eye. You should feel a spot that feels right in the center of the forehead, and a deep inhale in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. And we'll go to two hands, just lightly tapping down the sides of the face. Just pause at the tops of the cheekbones, lightly tapping on the cheekbones and around the bone structure. Nice deep breath. We're going to come right down to our sinus points. These are acupressure points. And they're a little wider than your nostrils, sometimes right around the lower part of the cheekbone, in between the upper lip and the lower nostrils. Just begin to dig in a little bit there and massage. And when you do that, make some nice big circles, you should find some pretty sensitive spots. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth. And if you find some particularly tender spots, go ahead and pause. Give a little pressure there. Deep breath. Maybe a little golden light. Maybe a little smile. And maybe one more time, because those spots do a lot. All of our breathing. Clearing the sinuses. And we'll slowly let go. And just tapping down the sides of the face. And what we're going to do here is we're going to bring our fingers back to where our jaw hinges. So we're like right at our earlobes. We're going to open the jaw up. You're going to find those little nooks and crannies right where the jaw hinge is. And you're going to find some spots that are a little uncomfortable, most likely. Same thing. Dig around a little bit. Release that jaw. And a couple breaths in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. The jaw is one of the strongest muscles, if not the strongest muscle in the human body. A lot of tension hiding in there. Now we're going to come back to the earlobes. I want you to go ahead and just grab the earlobe between your thumb and your index finger. Give that a nice little squeeze. Nice little breath. Inhale in. Exhale out. And we're going to work up the edges of the ears, slowly squeezing, just trying to find any little point that might feel a little tender, making our way up, grabbing hold of that little edge that wraps all the way around the ears. Deep breath. Coming all the way around the ears. Eventually being able to stick your index finger into the, what would you call that? The kind of mid flap, not into your ear canal, but right above your ear canal. And go ahead and give a little massage and a deep breath. Working your way around kind of the external little nooks and crannies around the ear. Deep breath. And let's just shake the hands off towards the ground. There we go. And patting down the sides of the neck. Give ourselves a little pat on the back. Deep breath. We're doing the full energetic shower today. Getting in all the nooks and crannies. Coming around to the top of the chest. You can make little cat claws. Run those knuckles in between the ribs, in the gullies. Pull the connective tissue from the center out to the sides. Deep breath. You can open up the chest a little bit. Shoulder blades come onto the back. And we'll come back to two hands right on the sternum. Kind of our energetic heart space. Deep breath. We're going to pause with the hands on the sternum and dig in a little bit and circle. Circle one direction and the other. Once again, taking time to find those little spots. Pain is a useful tool. We're so good at finding it. The brain is so incredibly good at finding it. So pinpoint those little spots. Dig in a little bit. Nice little smile, little inhale. Bring some of that golden light in there. Release. Just encourage that spot to just release or breathe. All right. We're going to just tap down the side of our rib cage. We're going to grab a hold of our thumbs very loosely, and we're going to kind of smack the lower parts of our armpits. Kind of waking up the whole central nervous system. Make sure your knees have a little bend in them. You can always kick the legs out a little bit. We just don't want to lock the knees. We want to keep the circulation flowing. We'll make our way right down the sides of our rib cage. right to the soft part of the ribs. Deep breath. This kind of brings all the organs online a little bit. All right, we're going to bring the hands back. We're going to grab a hold of our thumbs again. We're going to bend the knees a little. We're going to hinge forward, and we're going to circle the kidneys, just like we did with the belly. Nice, brisk circles. Hinging forward, breathing. Just giving those kidneys a little love for all the work they do for us. And one more deep breath. And now patting down the back pockets, all the way down to the backs of the legs, to the backs of the knees. Deep breath here. All the way down the calves. You're going to bend your knees a lot. I want you to lift up a foot and give a nice little smack, nice breath, the bottom of the foot, and then switch sides. Deep breath. Almost done. Doing great. Tops of the feet. Up to the shins. Coming to the kneecaps. We'll pause, toe heel the feet a little closer together. We're going to massage the kneecaps like we have little cat claws and we're ripping up the sofa. Get in there. Dig around. Yep. Dig around, find those little nooks and crannies. We're going to pause, and I want you to circle the knees together in slow circles, and we're going to get into even a little bit more of those spaces. And then circle the knees in the other direction. Doing great. Big breath. Exhale. All right, let's toe heel those feet back out. Make our way up our thighs. Whoo! And shake out the arms. Brush off the arms. Shake it off. Kick the legs out. Whew. And then we're going to do 3 big deep breaths, pulling the hair like we're parting our hair. So right in the middle of the skull, we're going to inhale. We're going to pull down with our inhale all the way to the shoulders. Exhale to the heart as the hands overlap. I'm going to do that a couple more times. Big inhale. Exhale. One more. Shake it off. Last move. Last move. Shaking it off. We warm the hands up like Mr. Miyagi and the Karate Kid. Warming up the palms. Get lots of heat. This is for the eyes. Very slowly, I'm going to bring the palms of our hands, rest them over the eyeballs. I want you to bend your knees a little bit, sink down. Very slowly, inhaling, exhaling out the mouth. Begin to release the tension behind the eyes. And there's a lot of it because we're getting into the tension in our head. That little monkey wheel, that little mouse wheel that spins and spins all day long. It builds up a lot of friction, a lot of tension. So let's give that a little lubrication with our breath. Maybe even bring in some of that golden light. Just imagine the golden light just shimmering all around the eyes. cascading through the brain, illuminating. One more deep belly breath. Exhale out the mouth. Slowly releasing the pressure on the eyes. Slowly releasing the hands. And there we go. Energetic shower. And the body thanks you right away. Rush of circulation, endorphins. And now we're going to reward ourselves by getting down onto the mat. Good. That was a lot of work. Standing, opening up the energetic systems. Oh. Yeah. It's a lot of work. That is a lot of work. We're bringing everything online. All right. Let's have a strap near us, just in case. We may get to it, we may not. Blocks too. Why not? What happens is I usually have this complicated, long process of us going through a mat workout, and we run out of time. So that's why I never know what props we're going to get to. So we're going to set up for our windshield wipers, our classic. We should call this the school of windshield wipers. We always do this. And so as we line up for our windshield wipers, I always like to give myself a little posture cues. We're gonna just roll the knees over to the side. And as you roll your knees over to the left side, my right knee should come right to my left heel. That's about the kind of spacing we're looking for. And then consequently, the other side, we roll the knees over to the right side. My left knee is hitting my right heel. So I like to just check it out. You know, I can always just be like, walk your feet to the wide edges of the mat, but this really lets us know that we're lined up correctly. So get your feet positioned there. Make sure you have a good bend in your knees. And now we're going to lie back. And as we lie back, we're going to take our palms down onto the mat. They're spread out. We have a lot of space, a lot of foundation. I want you to tuck the shoulder blades under the back. You just lift up the right side of your chest, tuck the right shoulder blade under the back. Same thing with the left. And it may not seem like a lot, but once we get up on the shoulder blades, we feel a lot of foundation, and there's space under the lumbar spine. The lumbar spine is now floating. Let's take a couple nice deep breaths in and out of the nose here. And on your next exhale, we will drop the knees over to the right side. Slowly just rolling on the sides of the feet as we say good morning to that left hip. Breathing. Once again, using the body's superpower of locating discomfort and really zeroing in on that point in the left hip that feels a little uncooperative, feels a little sticky. And we'll really focus on that place as we breathe. With our inhale, just backing away from our edge. And with our exhale, moving a little bit closer to the edge. And on your next inhale, bring the knees back up to center. And just pause there for a breath. Realigning, getting those shoulder blades really under the back, palms down. And then exhaling the knees over to the left side. Once again, saying hello to that right hip. the more in touch we are with our foundation, our connection with the earth, your palms, your shoulder blades, anything that's touching the mat right now, the more we can really ground that energy down. That leaves us space to open up in the hips to allow that fresh circulation of chi and blood and oxygen to flow. Breathing in and out of the nose. And if any of these poses is particularly intense, feel free to exhale out the mouth. You might need to, if we experience intensity, we can match it with our breathing. And we'll inhale the knees up. And before we do this routine again, let's straighten the legs out. Let's flex the feet like we're kicking into a wall, and then point the toes. I should just do that a couple of times. Just flexing the feet one way and then the other. And then circling the ankles. Just circle the foot. And then the other direction. Just loosening up the ankle joints. Coming back to our flexed, activated feet as we stretch the hands and arms up overhead. Activate those fingertips like we're shooting energy across the room and get full length. Feel as tall and as long as you possibly can and take a nice deep breath. On your next inhale, we're going to try our best to return to our exact windshield wiper position. Feet are nice and wide, shoulder blades are under the back, and once again, the knees fall over towards the right side. This time we have some add-ons that are optional. You can drop your left ear towards the mat, getting a little twist in the neck and head. And if you want to go for another option, you can take your right foot and place it on top of your left thigh. Breathing. Always back to the breath. One more full cycle of breath. And then if your right foot is up on your thigh, go ahead and place it down. Bring the head and neck back up to center. And inhale the knees up to neutral. And pause for a round of breath. And exhale the knees over to the left. Same options. The right ear can drop towards the mat. And we can place the left foot on top of the right thigh. Really locating that tightness in the right hip, making one more big belly breath into that right hip, and letting go. If that foot is on top of the thigh, go ahead and bring it down. Bring the head and neck back up to center. Inhale the knees up. And pause for a breath. Reach over and grab your trusty strap. I'm going to grab a hold of the right knee. Before we put the strap on the right foot, we're just going to pull the right knee towards the right armpit a couple of times. Just feeling a little bit of, just a little of that pumping motion, breathing. Briefly circle the right knee a little bit in the hip socket one way and then the other. Just kind of releasing. And then you're going to wrap the middle of your strap right around the toe box of your foot. Right in the middle of the strap. So you have two long ends that you can possibly wrap around your hands or just grab a hold of. And it's really nice to be able to rest the elbows down on the mat. Keep those shoulder blades really on the back as we begin to kick into the strap with our foot. And whatever angle you need to go for in order to try to straighten the leg. Like it's way more useful to be way down at this angle with a straight leg than way up here with a bent knee. All right? We want to really open up the whole line of the leg, kicking into the strap, pulling the whole leg into the hip socket with the strap. So you have two motions, two opposite motions occurring at the same time. If you don't have a strap, you can interlace your fingers behind your thigh and pull the leg down into the hip socket. Same thing, trying to straighten the leg. But either way, we're doing the same motion. If you'd like to move into a little bit deeper version of this, you can straighten the left leg out. As you breathe, doing a lot of muscle energy in the leg. The foot is really active, kicking into the strap. Once again, we inhale, maybe we back off just a little bit. Exhale, move a little closer to that tightness. Pulsing. We're working with the body, using the breath. If your left leg is straight, go ahead and bend that left knee, placing the left foot back on the mat. And just take one more full cycle of breath, really going for your full version of the pose. And your next inhale will slowly lower the leg, bend the right knee, let go of the strap, grab a hold of the right knee, and just pump it a couple of times in towards the right armpit. And then slowly place the right foot back down onto the mat as we grab a hold of the left knee and get that one prepped up a little. Breathing, drawing the left knee towards the left armpit. Circling in the hip socket, one direction and then the other. And then grabbing that strap or interlacing your fingers behind the thigh, wrapping a hold of the strap, Finding that angle where we can really straighten the leg. Activate that toe box. We're kicking into the strap. And at the same time, we're pulling the leg into the hip socket. Breathing. Option to straighten the right leg if that's available. Energetically, we're activating the whole leg, bringing that fresh chi into the leg, into the hip. Exhaling, moving towards the discomfort. Inhaling, backing off just a little bit. If your right leg is straight, go ahead and inhale, bending that right knee, getting your right foot back on the mat. One more full cycle of breath. Pull that leg in, kicking away into the strap. Lower the angle of your leg. Bend the left knee. Allow the strap to fall away. Wrap your arms around the left knee and the shin, and just give it a couple pumps. Breathing. Pulling the leg in towards the armpit. Bringing the foot back to the mat. And we're just going to flop the whole body over onto our side, right into fetal posture. Just taking a few breaths. Letting everything go. And slowly picking yourself up. Come up a little bit. All right. Well, I promised crane, and I'm one to deliver. We have 5 minutes left of class. Usually we would just go right into Shavasana. But we're going to make our way to our feet. And we're going to slowly move through crane. Okay? You'll find I usually run class about 5 to 10 minutes late, and that doesn't usually seem to be a problem. So we're just going to roll with it. We're going to make our way to our feet, and we're going to slowly embody the crane. And we're not going to spend a lot of time with it, obviously, but just enough to review it. And we're really in a place where our bodies are nice and open and we're relaxed. And of course, we were ready to go into Shavasana. You can always do that. Yes. But we're going to find our crane posture. And it looks like this. Our heels come together. We have a little 90-degree pie wedge with the feet. We're going to bend the knees just a little bit. And our first move is called crane standing. The hands come together. The fingertips are facing each other, but they're not touching. Just make sure the shoulders are relaxed, rolling down the back. And just once again, the tip of the tongue comes to the roof of the mouth as we find that belly breath. We're going to inhale the hands up to just below the rib cage and exhale the hands down. Really slow. There's not much room to move here, so we can go really slow. Inhaling and exhaling. Imagine that we're standing by the edge of the river. Beautiful day. Clear water just rushing past. As we embody the stillness of the crane, standing on our little twig crane legs, completely still, just waiting for that ripple in the water, waiting to see that fish, totally at peace. We're going to exhale the hands down. We're going to inhale the arms up to about shoulder height. We're going to exhale, releasing, just leaving the hands. We're going to inhale the wrists up, and we're going to make a little crane head with our hands. We're going to exhale the hands flat. This is called the crane lifting its head. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more inhale, lifting the wrists. Exhale, moving right into crane, flapping its wings. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale up. Exhale the hands just down to the sides. And we move right into crane squat, which is an inhale, the palms up towards the sky. And an exhale as we return to center. Go nice and slow. Just don't need to go super deep at first. Just inhale. The heels lift a little bit on our inhale. Exhale. Going slow, just really feeling the balance. If we need to flap our wings a little bit to get our balance, that's totally fine. We're a crane. Let's do one more. Inhaling. Exhaling up. We're going to inhale here. We're going to exhale. We're going to bend the knees again. We're going to wrap the arms. We're going to inhale as we rise up to one leg. Crane standing on one leg. Let's pause here for a breath. Exhale down. Inhale up to the other leg. And you can always just come up onto your toes if you want. Exhale your way down to the other leg. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Pause for a breath. Exhale the feet back down and close in. The hands come together. The back rounds. We still have a little bit of bend in our knees. And we inhale and we open up towards the right foot as we open the right foot out. Open the wings. We step down very lightly. And then we exhale closed. Inhale, we open up towards the other foot. Stepping down lightly. Exhaling back, closing the wings. Inhale. Let's go one more time on each side. Inhaling, just barely touching down. Exhaling, closing. Inhale. Exhaling back to center. And we're going to come right back to crane standing. We're going to finish off our crane with just a couple of breaths. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Just a chance to once again maybe close your eyes and just feel the results of the crane. Clarity and focus, serenity, calm. One more, inhale up. Exhale down. We're going to open the feet up, back to our stance. And we're going to finish off our whole class today. The hand on the belly, ladies with the left hand, guys with the right hand. Close the eyes, bend the knees. Just take a few series of breaths, just kind of digesting the whole experience. Breathing into the hands. And now we'll seal the chi by 9 clockwise circles around the belly. Just counting to yourself. Pausing when you're done for one final breath. And releasing. And stepping out. Nice work, cranes. All right, now we're really going to enjoy our Shavasana as we settle into the mat. Find some props, any props that you need, whether it's a bolster under your knees or a blanket under your head. But as you settle in, really get those shoulder blades under the back. It's a nice way to prop yourself up and be nice and supported, connected with the earth. And begin to deepen the breath, slowly coming back to the room. Wiggling the fingers and toes, maybe stretching the arms up overhead. And the next few cycles of breath, you just carry yourself over onto your side. Just a handful of breaths there, just enjoying the transition. And eventually making your way up into a seated posture. We'll bring our hands together at the heart. And bring the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth and find some of those nice deep belly breaths in and out of the nose. As we prepare to close today, we're going to once again bring that ring into your field, moving front to back, moving left to right and right to left, and above to below, and from below to above. Showering the heart, the whole body, with that golden light. Thank you so much for practicing today. Namaste.
Namaste. So much.
You're welcome, Catherine. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Carrie. Jill.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody online.
Thank you. Yeah.
And happy 2021.
Yes. It can only get better.
Yes. And no matter what happens, you find that center, find your crane, be at peace.
So next Wednesday, same time?
Same time, same channel.
Okay.
Yep. And if you're in the valley here, we're doing a special class Sunday evening, which is kind of a meditative restorative class from 5:15 to 6:30. And that's just in January, giving that in person. Yeah, it's in person only right now, but just thought I'd throw that out at you. And the rest of the schedule is exactly the same. And you can find it on Carrie's Mountain Mermaid Wellness site.
Okie dokie.
Thank you.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year, everybody.
Jordan.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jordan.
Mm. Mm. That's- mm.
No pain. What's that? No pain. Oh, there's